Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to Evolving Consciousness. I'm your host Purushottam, and in today's video, we are going to talk about the immortal legend. We are going to talk about a God which you and me probably have worshipped, or in any ways, even if you haven't worshipped, we certainly have heard of him. The epitome of courage, valor, strength, and devotion, Lord Hanuman himself. Now, one video or plethora of videos are not enough to fully elaborate the potency of this individual. But my today's video is an humble attempt to sort of share some of the life lessons which we all can learn from his life, and what are the qualities, what are the virtues which he embodied, which we all can sort of draw inspiration from, and also make an humble attempt to inculcate those qualities. Now, most of us, we don't relish the rich culture and heritage our pristine land beholds. Most of us look down upon our culture. Now, this is quite unfortunate when the entire world is considering India as Vishwaguru. Certain segments of our population, now it is changing for the good, but certain segments of the population still look down upon spirituality, still look down upon the rich value system and heritage which originally originated from this land. Now it's very funny and amusing that United States, who spoke very low of yoga and its yogic practices, now it wants a patent which suggests that it was the originator of yoga. And yoga is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States. Just look at how the worldview and the perceptions change. Hence, it is extremely important that we as Indians really value our culture and look up to this profound teachings and wisdom which our rich culture and heritage houses, and we can gain inspiration and install certain learnings in our mindset, in our own consciousness, which will serve not only us but also those around us, right? So let's talk about this legend. Now, the number one quality of Lord Hanuman is the quality of humility. Now, humility is such a scarce virtue in today's modern day. Now, most of us think that if you have a certain level of achievement in the material world, then probably it's difficult to be humble. But let's understand that it's not necessary that you have a lot of things which you have achieved and you don't have humility. I, for instance, have seen people who haven't done anything of substantial value, but still they have arrogance, they have a certain level of ego. When you try to understand what is the source of their ego, you don't get an answer. And humility is something which needs to be looked up. And let's remember the start of Hanuman Chalisa. It says, Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj, Nij Munu Mukri Sudhari. Now, if you understand the value, instead of parroting it mindlessly, most of us repeat mantras without even understanding what that shlokas mean. The first sentence of Hanuman Chalisa comes with a message of humility. That exact sentence translates that he bows down, Lord Hanuman bows down at the feet of his Guru. And if you want to understand the exact translation, he says, having polished my mind mirror with pollen dust of my Guru's feet, I bask in the unblemished glory of the Lord of Raghunandan, that is Lord Sri Ram himself. Now let's understand one thing, very important thing, that Lord Hanuman was a person who was blessed with all the gods. He had supernatural powers which you and me cannot even fathom. His personality was filled with phenomenal powers. If you and me had even an ounce of his powers, we would be filled with a sense of pride and ego. But look at him. His entire conduct during the course of Ramayana was filled with humility. Now, humility, there's a beautiful saying which says that the more fruits are grown on a tree, the more humble the tree becomes. A person who doesn't have humility in life, he probably hasn't achieved anything substantial. Because people who are of value, who are people of substance and have done something substantial in their life, they all have this divine virtue, the virtue of humility. Now, Rick Warren put it beautifully. He said, humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. I want to repeat that. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Now, nobody is saying that we shouldn't be proud of our achievements. All I'm inviting you to consider is don't let yourself consume your consciousness too much. Because let's remember, if you are not humble, if you are not someone who has this bandwidth, this mental understanding that there is more learning I need to have. Because if you think you are perfect, you know everything, you are never going to progress in life, you are never going to grow in life. Only the people who are truly humble are the people who can make something of value. Look at Lord Hanuman. If he wanted, he could have killed Ravana. He was actually, even the scriptures go ahead and say that if he wanted, Lord Hanuman could have assassinated Lord Ravana in the first meeting itself. But no, he didn't do that. He wanted his Lord Ram to finish him. He was filled with such amount of devotion and humbleness from within that no amount of strength ever rose to his head. And one beautiful aspect of him, whenever you read Ramayana, right, don't just read it superficially. Try to understand the character of different personalities. Because we have unfortunately, most of us have a very filthy relationship with God. We only approach God for our own personal desires. Give me that, give me this. We approach God from this consciousness of a beggar. But that's not how we should approach divinity. We need to approach divinity from a lens of taking knowledge. What are the learnings these personalities epitomized? This is the approach we need to have towards our gods and towards all the spiritual scriptures. Now, I want to talk about a person who you and me know about, who in today's time epitomizes humility. A person who I deeply respect and adore. I'm talking about Mr. Ratan Tata. Now, you probably would have heard innumerable instances where Mr. Ratan Tata exhibited more profound examples of humility. One such example, he worked as a blue-collar employee in his own company. Let's remember, Ratan Tata was born in an extremely wealthy family. Not a silver spoon, he had a platinum spoon. He was born with a platinum spoon. He was extremely rich. And he refused a very nice job in IBM in the United States, and he decided to come back to his own company and work as a blue-collar employee. And it is said that he worked as a worker. He used to spend time in furnaces just like an ordinary employee. He used to manually labor, he used to engage in manual labors when he didn't have the need to do that. I mean, if he wanted, he could have just sit in a AC room and he could have just told people, but no, Mr. Ratan Tata is an exemplary example of true humility. Another example in his own life. Now, this happened when Mr. Ratan Tata, he sort of hit the 1 million followers benchmark in his Instagram page, right? He hit the 1 million followers benchmark. So Mr. Ratan Tata, the man he is, he sort of sat on the ground and he posted a thank you message in Instagram. Now, one of the ladies commented on that post and said, a little kid or a short kid, nice short kid or something of that quality. Now, most of his followers got offended by that. They say, how the hell she is disrespecting Mr. Ratan Tata. And you know what Ratan Tata did? So, because of this vicious attacks by his followers on that lady, she deleted that comment. And after a while, Mr. Tata, the man of character he is, you know what he did? He appealed to all of his followers to not engage in these vicious attacks. That lady had a very heartfelt intention, and she called me a young child or a young man. It's okay, I don't take offense to it. I don't have any feelings of revenge or feelings of negativity or feelings of disrespect. Now, this is a man of stature. This is a man who you can adore and draw inspiration from. This is just a couple of instances of his humility. If you just Google it, you will find innumerable instances where this man has exhibited what being truly humble is. Let's remember, he's a tycoon. The amount of wealth he owns, you and me cannot even probably fathom that. But it's said that people who are truly successful, they are the people who are truly humble. Now let's go to lesson number 2, which we can draw from the great legend, the Lord Hanuman himself. Secret of true courage and valor. The secret of true courage and valor is devotion. Now you might be perplexed by what I just said, because courage and devotion probably don't sink in. You probably feel that they are not correlated. But if you go deep, right, if you try to understand, you cannot have a boundless reservoir of courage and valor unless you don't devote yourself to a purpose higher than your own selfish interest, higher than your own self-obsessions. You won't be able to ever reach that level of boundless courage and valor. Now, it's a tragedy that most of us think courage means to raise our voice, to indulge in arguments and fights. No, that is not courage. Courage is when you are devoted to a purpose which is larger than yourself, which is completely unselfish. Lord Hanuman didn't benefit anything as such with his involvement in the Ramayana, but we all know how instrumental his role was in Ramayana. Probably he played the most significant role in the entire chain of events. And the courage and valor which he sort of epitomized, the secret of that was the devotion towards the Lord, the devotion towards his purpose of getting back Sita. Now, even in today's modern day, if you want to know courage and valor, the immediate thought comes. You know who the immediate people who come in your mind when you talk about courage and valor? The respected forces, the people who are guarding our borders, the army personnel, the defense personnel. Now, have you thought about it? You and me can sleep peacefully in the night is because of the fact that somebody is guarding our borders. Somebody is relentlessly guarding our borders, away from the comfort and luxuries of their family, the sacrifice of their family for them, the sacrifice of the family life for a larger purpose. Do you know what's the secret of this army personnel? The courage, the secret behind the courage of their army personnel is the devotion towards the country. If they were not devoted to this purpose, why do you think they would risk their lives? Because they are not going to be rewarded with crores of rupees. No, they are not. Then what is the source of their courage and valor? Because it's not an easy thing to always be in the risk of getting dead. They can be dead anytime, but still they have the courage to face death. Death is known to be the source of all fears. They face it. What is the source of their courage and valor? The source of their courage and valor is a dedication, a relentless commitment, a devotion towards an unselfish objective, towards the service of the country. This is the true secret of boundless courage and valor. Because let's realize, without courage and valor, you are not going to pursue any virtue for long. You are not going to be consistent. Because what happens is, we human beings are so much dependent on the perceptions and opinions of public. Whenever you venture into the road less traveled, or you have a defining purpose in life, people will pull you down. And if you don't have a purpose which is larger than you, a purpose which is beyond your selfish intentions, you won't be able to draw energy from it. If you ever want to experience what true courage and valor is, you need to study the life of Hanumanji. We need to study what was the reason for his phenomenal courage, his phenomenal valor. It is his devotion. Now, most of us, when we hear these words devotion, right, we sort of confine it to the entities of God and goddesses. No. Devotion is much beyond that. Devotion can be practiced in any dimension of your life. You can be devoted to your work. You can be devoted to your health. It is a feeling. It is a virtue. But once you develop this virtue, once you are tuned with a purpose which is higher than yourself, which is completely unselfish. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. From where the hell did a person who was so lean and who wasn't argumentative by nature had the courage to face the ferocious British Empire? This man wasn't someone having a loud voice, because most of us in today's day and age equate courage with having a loud voice, the ability to be argumentative. That's what people equate courage to in today's crippled mindset, right? But look at Mahatma Gandhi. he didn't argue. He had a beautiful thought. He said, in a gentle way, shake the world. Now, this is the power of having a defining purpose and having this devotion towards your purpose. Because without having a devotion towards your purpose, you won't develop a spine which is needed to relentlessly pursue your passion, to relentlessly pursue your purpose. Lord Hanumanji teaches us how having devotion can help us in so many areas of our life. Now, coming to the third point of what we can learn from Lord Hanuman, is discovering our true potential, discovering our latent potential. Because most of us are sort of hijacked by people's opinions. We start talking low about ourselves. We don't understand how much potential, how much of value we all have within us. And there's a beautiful instance wherein Jambuvan sort of knocks at Hanuman's consciousness and makes him realize his true power. He makes him realize that he is a person with phenomenal powers. He is a person who is a reservoir of a lot of powers which he had forgotten. Like him, most of us have completely oblivious to our hidden potential, to our latent potential. But interestingly, when Lord Hanumanji had to cross the ocean to reach Lanka, it is then that he was reminded of his powers. He was reminded of his valor, his strength. Similarly in life, right, when you and me face challenges, when you and me face upheavals, if we are fortunate enough to meet a personality like Jamvan who reminds us of our latent potential, we are duty bound to rise it within us and make full utilization of our talent. We all need to discover our true potential like Lord Hanuman in any dimension of our life. Because if we don't do, we probably are betraying ourselves. So let us learn this important life lesson from Lord Hanuman. Now, coming to the fourth important lesson. It says, aim high, strive for the stars. Now, this is a beautiful story of Lord Hanuman's childhood when he sort of thought sun to be one of a fruit, right? He thought that a sun looks like a delicious fruit to him. So he just jumps out and tries to eat it up. And when Indra sees this, he is like, what the hell is this guy doing? And he uses his Vajra. So Vajra is basically the weapon which Lord Indra has. And he tries to kill him, right? And he succeeds in giving a very hard blow to Hanumanji. And Hanumanji falls down. You know what happens after that? Vayudev, who is considered the father of Lord Hanuman, he really gets pissed off after what Indra did. So he withdraws all the air from the entire earth, and every living creature is they are losing their life. After that, Hanumanji gets the boon of immortality. Now, there are such hidden lessons in this story. Oftentimes, we all confine ourselves from aiming high due to the fear of failure, due to the fear that we will fall down when we are trying to aim this high. But look at what happened with Hanumanji. He was received with a catastrophe. He was losing his life because of his intention of aiming high, universe granted him immortality. When your intentions are pure, when your dreams are grand, majestic, mammoth, even if you fall down, universe will make you either immortal, or it will make you, even it will create some other avenue through which your dreams are realized. But always remember, whenever you pursue your grandest dreams, start it with an extremely pure intention, like Lord Hanuman himself. Now, there are so many different lessons which can be learned from this legend, but these were my top 4 learnings from Lord Hanuman, because he so beautifully epitomizes what true courage is, what true valor is. Not the courage and valor which we have conditioned from Bollywood or Hollywood movies, no. Now, this courage and value, this valor is coming from a place of devotion, is coming from a place of unconditional love, not the love which is based on agreements, not the love which is based on transactions, but from a love which is beyond what you and me can fathom. Hope this video made sense to you. Hope this video was of value to you. My intention behind making this particular video was because oftentimes we engage in devotion and worship, which is great to do, but we also shouldn't ignore the valuable lessons each one of us can inculcate from these divine personalities. Of course, we cannot fully epitomize the qualities which these people exhibited, but at least we can sort of draw inspiration from them, or at least we can tend towards going in that direction. Hope this video was of value to you, and hope this video will give you some inspiration in case you haven't read Ramayana. In case, I'm sure most of you would have. In case you haven't read, do read it, and probably you will get more profound lessons which you and me can apply. Thank you so much, and if you really liked today's video, and you don't forget to share it with 3 or 4 of your friends. Also, do subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed the genre of this content. If you enjoyed the genre, and also give me your valuable feedback in the comment section. I'm open to constructive criticism, so I'd love to hear what you thought about this particular video. Thank you so much, and meet you in the next video. Bye.